Hi guys. Sorry, my little broadcast was delayed a little bit. I was having some technical difficulties. Um, Last time I went live, I was on my regular computer and not on my Chromebook, so it was just a little bit of adjustment. Anyways, I'm here now, and I guess that's all that matters, right? So, I didn't have a whole lot of time today to edit a video, so I just decided I would go live and I would share everything with you guys. Let me adjust this so it doesn't look like I have like a triple chin here. Um, so yeah, I just decided I would go live and I would share with you all everything that I was going to talk about today, anyways, and get that all over with. So I've had a lot of questions lately on the vlog. A lot of people asking, how did your IVF go? Was it a success? What happened? Why do you have to do IVF? And so I just figured I would just address those questions here. That way we can just get it all out of the way. And yeah. If you guys ever have any questions, please do not even hesitate to ask. Like I said, I'm an open book and I enjoy sharing this stuff with you in hopes that hopefully it will help somebody else. So let's go to step one, why we had to do IVF. So I think I've shared before, I had two pregnancies. We have a 7-year-old and we have a 4-year-old. And after I had last son, our 4-year-old in 2012, I started noticing a lot of shortness of breath. Like I wasn't able to walk to the bathroom by myself. I wasn't really even able to carry him or breastfeed like without being completely exhausted. So I was like, what is going on? Why am I it feels like, or it felt like anxiety, like really bad anxiety. Like my chest would get really tight and I just wasn't able to breathe. I was huffing and puffing the whole time, and it was just it was not fun. I finally I had him in April, and around maybe like July or August, I was like to my breaking point. Like I had this, I didn't know why I was feeling so bad. I thought that I was just really out of shape or whatever, and so right around July or August, I started feeling really like crappy, and I was just not, I was not having a good time of it. It was hard for me. So my then I think he was turning 3. My then 3-year-old had his birthday September 29th, and it was kind of a stressful time. So of course, like my sorry, I'm going to post this really quick because I think that it's not working. Sorry to interrupt you guys. I wanted to share my story, but let's see. Let me post this on here really quick. So yeah, on his birthday, it was like really stressful for me. And I always put like everything that I have into a birthday party. And so I was just really beat down. On top of that, having a 6-month-old and breastfeeding and whatnot. So we had family in town, so it was like the stress of all the family being here, the stress of the party, the stress of everything. I was just really feeling like horrible, like absolutely horrible. And so I was just like, something has to give. So our family was here, I guess, until the day after Caden's birthday. And I was just in bed the whole time. I was like, I just can't get enough sleep. Like, I'm just so tired. And again, I just kind of sum that up to like, oh, I have a 6-month-old, I have a 3-year-old. It's just the norm of it, right? And everyone had gone back home, and then I just kind of resumed life as normal. And So I was taking my son, my oldest son, the 3-year-old at that point, was going to speech therapy weekly. So I guess it was like yeah, it must have been a Monday. So Monday, I was with the kids by myself. My oldest son had to go to therapy. And so I, called that morning, October 1st. I called that morning to his speech pathologist and I was like, I was literally in tears. Like, I cannot do this. I can't come today. I just do not feel good at all. And she was like, okay, that's fine. I understand. And I remember that I didn't feel like cooking breakfast. So I was like, okay, let's go to like Whataburger or McDonald's or whatever. Let's get something to eat. So I pack the kids up. I get Mason in his car seat. I like open the doors up, start the car, like getting the kids in and everything. So, the last thing that I remember was I walked around the back of my car and I was going to lock my, and that's the last thing I remember. I like completely blacked out. Hit my head. I like had a contusion on my head. My husband said I was just completely out. They were performing CPR on me and I was blue and I was cold. And the next thing I remember, I was in the back of an ambulance and I woke up and I like, they opened the doors and I see my husband standing there with my purse of all things. And I'm like, what happened? Like, this is a dream, right? Like, why would I have an issue like me? So they get me to the hospital. They run like all kinds of tests. I did have regular systemic high blood pressure. Okay. So that's the normal blood pressure that everyone thinks of. Like that's the one that's measured by the cuff when you go to the doctor. So they're like, your blood pressure is pretty high. So we're going to give you some IV medication to bring your blood pressure down, but you cannot breastfeed anymore. So I was already like really upset because I really wanted to continue to breastfeed. That was my goal. And so yeah, just kind of progressed on and I was discharged and they said I had anxiety and that I needed to see a counselor, yada, yada, yada. So I kept pushing forward and a couple months after that, I went to my cardiologist and he was like, let's do a heart catheterization. So he did a heart catheterization and it turned out that my pulmonary pressures, which the pulmonary pressures completely different than your systemic blood pressure, okay? Your pulmonary pressures are the tiny little vessels that go between your heart and your lungs. So that's where my high blood pressure was. And so it was literally like, this is the best way I can describe it. It's kind of like mud going through a straw. Like that's how my blood was. And so the doctor's like, you cannot have any more children. Like you will die. Like there's no questions about it. You will die. You have a good 50-50 chance of you making it and the baby dying or both of you dying. So for 4 years, I mean, we were just so upset. Like I had always wanted 3 kids. Like that was my goal, 3 kids. And so being told that you are no longer allowed to have any more children, like it was devastating. So from 2012 until this year, till January of 2017, was just, I mean, it was heartbreaking. Like I would see friends get pregnant and I would be so happy for them, but then I would be sad for myself because like I was supposed to have another baby or like why can't I have another baby and why can't everybody have a baby? And I know there's lots of people that say, like that lots of people say, well, it's I think this thing is confusing me. Oh, yeah, this live thing is Okay, guys. So this broadcasting is really confusing me, and I don't like it. So I probably won't be using it again. So if you didn't catch that last part, was with pulmonary hypertension, and I was told we are no longer able to have kids. If you don't know what pulmonary hypertension is, I encourage you to look it up. Another point of this is not only to, bring awareness to IVF and the whole process, but to also bring awareness to pulmonary hypertension. Just to throw some statistics out at you, I have idiopathic arterial pulmonary hypertension. Okay, when you look that up, it's 1 in a million, maybe 2 in a million. So lucky, right? That I just got this. How did I get this? I don't know. We don't know. We think it's the pregnancy, the hormone shift, and something just did not set right with my body after we had Mason. So that's just what we're going to go with. Ironically, though, when I was on stems for IVF, it did the extra estrogen did not bother me. So who knows? Like, it's idiopathic, meaning we don't know, yo. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And then, so yeah, after being told we can't have babies, then, again, we're like, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to adopt? Are we going to do embryo adopt? Like, what are we going to do? We don't know. Surrogacy, what's the best route for us to go? So the first thing we looked into, adoption. So adoption is very difficult if you have already a known disease, which I get it. I mean, fair enough. As a mother, I would want to make sure that my child is placed with somebody that is going to have enough life left in them to be able to take care of, my child. So I understand that. We were discouraged by that, but then once we started looking at the numbers, financially, it's like adoption, it was almost more expensive, or is more expensive than IVF. So we're like, well, why don't we just have our own biological child at this point? So then, we started looking at the numbers and we're like, how in the heck are we going to afford this? This is how are we going to afford this? It's ridiculous. So, and my husband is military, and TRICARE does not cover anything, nothing. Anything that has to do with IVF or infertility, like, they will not cover. So we were going at this by ourselves. We had to do, everything ourselves. Financing, researching, like all the moving parts that went with it, like the pulmonary hypertension and everything like that. It was all just a nightmare. So after like 4.5 years, almost 5 years, we were able to do IVF. And we just finished our cycle in February. Yeah, the end of February. So it's been about a month now. And
she just went to work this morning, I swear.
You're live, Rodney.
What?
You're live on YouTube right now. Look, you came in.
Every time I try to take a day off, something happens. It's frustrating.
So.
She just went to work.
So yes, that is what happened, and we just finished our IVF, and we started the stems. We did 11 days of stems. And when I say stems, like I didn't know what this meant, but they're like shots, or stimulation shots. And so if you haven't seen shots and stems and everything like that, please go to some of my videos and check it out. I did do some shot videos, some of them in the car, a little crazy, but had to be done. So we did that, and then we did 9 days of stems, and then we did egg retrieval on the 11th day, in which we had 7 retrieved, 7 mature, 6 fertilized, 5 made it to 5-day blast, and then 5 were sent to PGS testing, and 3 were normal. So, we got that, and I was actually very surprised, because when I first went in, they're like, you have kind of like diminished ovarian reserve. And all they were seeing on my AFC, which in AFC, I don't really know what it stands for, but it's basically a sono that goes in prior to your IVF cycle and kind of sees like how many follicles you have, which can give you a good idea about how many eggs you will retrieve. So ironically, like mine was exact. Like when I went to my pre-IVF baseline ultrasound, he said you have like 7 or 8 follicles. So, and then when I went in, I think I was like my 4th day on stems or 3rd day on stems when they did an extra ultrasound, and he said like, okay, yeah, we see like 7. And I asked, I was like, are there any more that are going to grow? And he was like, no, I wouldn't. They're not, because otherwise they would be so far behind the other ones that they would just be immature at that point and it wouldn't even be worth a retrieval. So he did see like 7 that were good size, growing all kind of the same rate, which is good, which is what you want to see. So yeah, he saw that, and then I said we got 7, and it was amazing. I was so excited. At first I was discouraged because I'm like, oh my God, I go on these freaking boards all the time and I see people that have like 50 eggs. Like, how old am I? But here's the thing. When you see people that have 50 eggs or 100 eggs or 1 billion eggs, it doesn't really matter, because you know what? Really only maybe 10 or 15 of them are mature, and then maybe only 8 or 10 of them fertilize. So just think quality over quantity. And that is what I had to keep telling myself, because you know what? I sent five embryos to PGS testing. Okay. 5. 3 of them were normal. That's like a 60% like normal rate, which in normal human beings, I have read it's between 30 and 50% will be normal in PGS. So, I mean, I lucked out. Like, I got more than I expected that I would. And if I would have had 100 eggs, who knows? I mean, I probably still would have had the same amount. So yeah, we were excited about that. Now we're just trying to go through the journey of surrogacy, which you guys know my sister-in-law has offered to be a surrogate. And we are just waiting on all the red tape, like the medical clearance and the legal and everything like that. So we're crossing our fingers and praying that all goes well, and then hopefully in a year or so we'll have a baby in our arms. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I can't really think of any more Q&As that you guys would want to know. If you have any other questions, I'll do this again. Go ahead and post in the comment section your questions about anything with pulmonary hypertension, anything with IVF, anything I will answer. So yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to throw that out there because, like I said, I don't have time today to edit a video, so I figured I would go live. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because I post Monday, Wednesday, Friday usually, updates on IVF, surrogacy, pulmonary hypertension, and just everyday mom life. So it was great talking with you guys, and I hope you have an amazing Friday. Go ahead and like this video, and I will see you guys on Monday.